Hi everyone, my name is Becca and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time with us today, welcome. And if you've read a first chapter with us before, then welcome back. We are going to be doing the first chapter Friday of The Probability of Everything. This book is written by Sarah Everett, and I have heard such great things about this book. So let's go ahead and open up to the front and side cover and read the synopsis to see what this book is going to be all about. 11-year-old Kemi Carter loves scientific facts, specifically probability. It's how she understands the world and her place in it. Kemi knows her odds of being born were 1 in 5.5 trillion, and that the odds of her having the best family ever were even lower. Yet somehow, Kemi lucked out. But everything Kemi thought she knew changes when she sees an asteroid hovering in the sky, casting a purple haze over her world. Plus 68 has an 84.7% chance of colliding with Earth in 4 days. And with that collision, Kemi's life as she knows it will end. But over the course of the 4 days, even facts don't feel true to Kemi anymore. The new town she moved to that was supposed to be better for her family isn't very welcoming, and plus 68 is taking over her life. But others are still going to school and eating their favorite dinner like nothing has changed. Is Kemi the only one who feels like the world is ending? With the days numbered, Kemi decides to put together a time capsule that will capture her family's truth, how creative her mother is, how inquisitive her little sister can be, and how much Kemi's whole world revolves around her father. But no time capsule can change the truth behind all of it, that Kemi must face the most inevitable and hardest part of life, saying goodbye. Do we even need to read the first chapter? Because just the synopsis alone has me hooked, personally. Wow. All right, let's dive in. The first chapter of The Probability of Everything. How the sun burned out. And teachers, if you're reading this with your students, feel free to grab the free handout. There is a link in the description. We first noticed the asteroid because my little sister Lo kept trying to eat it. It was Sunday morning in April, and the three of us, me, Mom, and Dad, were sitting at the dining table discussing a news story Dad was reading on his tablet. The officer spent 3 hours trying to coax the cat down. Sundays were the best days because there was no school. I liked school, but I liked being home too. Plus, ever since Dad changed jobs, we all sat down for breakfast together. Dad made pancakes and Mom and I set the table. We had the television low in the background as we ate, and Lo wriggled off Mom's lap, babbling and pointing to the screen. Mom let her hands rest on her round belly, like she sometimes did to include baby Z in all the stuff we were doing. Dad was talking around a bite of blueberry pancake when Lo started yelling, "Nami! Nami!" which was what she said when she wanted to eat something. Months ago, when Lo first started saying that, Mom thought she was calling her, "Mommy, Mommy." And me and Dad didn't have the heart to tell her the truth, but pretty soon it was obvious that Nami was just stuff that she wanted to put in her mouth, which was everything. "Nami, Nami!" Lo kept shouting. Mom looked over her shoulder and firmly said, "No, we don't eat the TV, Lo." We said some variation of that sentence more than 20 times today. "No, we don't eat that vase, Lo." "No, we don't eat the wall, Lo." "No, we don't eat your sister, Lo." "No, we don't eat our shoes, Lo." To be honest, this never worked very well, but this morning it wasn't working at all. "Cirque du Soleil is in town next month," Dad said as he read through the arts part of the online newspaper. "Nami, Nami! I took your mother to that before we got married. Grit," Dad told me, using his favorite nickname for me. "Lo, I said we don't eat the TV," Mom said. "Nami!" "You might like that," Dad continued. "Nami, Nami! We could all go," I said loudly so I could be heard over Lo. "Nami!" "Or the three of us anyway," I added when the image of Mom shouting Lo, "We don't eat the Cirque du Soleil dancers," popped into my head. It had been a while since we had done anything just the three of us. It felt strange to think that for 10 whole years it had been just me, Mom, and Dad, and now it would never be that way again. In just a few months, there would be me and Lo and baby Z and Mom and Dad. We were like a number pattern where the numbers kept getting bigger and bigger. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Lots of things had changed in the 17 months since Lola had been born. Some of them were tiny, like us having to move the vases Mom made higher up on the shelves so Lo couldn't get to them. Others were bigger, like us moving to Pineview, the nice part of Elderton, and our new house never being as quiet as our old one used to be. Nami! Sighing, Dad put his fork down, stood and walked over to where my little sister was standing. Want some pancakes, Lo? Yeah, you do. No, we don't eat the tella. As Dad picked her up, his voice stopped abruptly. Bim? He said my mom's name like he was a little bit breathless, like something had knocked the wind right out of him. Whatever it was in his voice, it made me and Mom both drop our forks and hurry over to where he and Lo were standing in the middle of the living room. Dad was staring at the television, eyes wide, and as we all faced the screen, it became clear that Lo hadn't been trying to eat the television. She'd been trying to eat the glittering purple circle on our screen. She'd been trying to eat a planet. What's going on? Mom asked, even as a banner of headlines scrolled across the screen. Breaking news. Massive asteroid alters path, now on course to meet Earth. NASA releases statement. Do not panic. Press conference to be held in 30 minutes. It kept rolling out onto the screen, a never-ending treadmill of words that made my heart thump hard in my chest as I stared at them. Oh no, Mom said, her voice just as breathless as Dad's. A sudden chill entered the room. It was Narnia cold, the kind of cold that makes your bones ache, and I shivered. The front door creaked like it had been left open, and I wondered if that was the reason for the cold. We had learned about asteroids in science last year, so I knew that an asteroid was a minor planet, but that was all I could remember about them. I wanted to grab Mom's laptop, curl up on my bed, and find out everything I possibly could about asteroids, but I couldn't look away from the television. My parents couldn't seem to look away either. Dad wrapped his arm around Mom like he wanted to keep her warm, and she put a hand on his chest. There was now a split screen on the television, with a journalist interviewing a scientist on the left side and the purple ball, the asteroid, on the other. They were calling it AM+68. A short man with twin tufts of white hair sprouting out of his ears pushed a pair of wiry glasses up his nose. His voice was very serious when he spoke. AM+, he said, has an 84.7% chance of hitting us. 84.7? I repeated under my breath as the ground felt wobbly beneath my feet. I'm pretty good at math, you see. 84.7% meant that the asteroid had much more chance of hitting us than it did of missing us. When Miss Wallace had taught us about asteroids, I hadn't really considered the possibility of one colliding with us. It was kind of the way I hadn't paid too much attention to our lesson on the Tasmanian Devils because I knew they were only in Australia. Asteroids were supposed to be in space, far away from us. Only this one wasn't. Thousands of asteroids whiz past us every year, and nothing ever happens, said the president of NASA from the left side of the screen. On the right, the planet held steady. But 2 hours ago, AM+68 collided with another asteroid, and then its path changed. We don't have all the facts, where it may hit, how hard it might hit, and until we do, I urge everyone to stay calm. I did not feel even a little bit calm. I felt dizzy and pukey, like that one time I went on the big wheel right after eating 2 hot dogs at Six Flags. What would it mean for an asteroid to hit us? Would it feel like an earthquake? The whole world quivering underneath us? Or would it be an explosion, one great big bang before everything went black? And would it happen today? Tomorrow? In a year? The thought was too big to wrap my mind around. I'm calling Jeremiah, Dad said, reaching for the phone in his pocket. Jeremiah Woods was Dad's best friend and also the world's leading expert on everything. If there was a new song on the radio, he knew who it was by. If you didn't know how to pronounce a word, he knew both how to say it and where it was from. He wanted to know what Jeremiah had to say, but I could only hear Dad's side of the conversation. Hi, Jer, Dad said into the phone. How bad is it? As Jeremiah talked, my parents exchanged a glance, talking with their eyes like they sometimes did. I knew then. It was bad news. The worst news. The asteroid was going to wipe us out. Goosebumps. I don't know about you guys, but I have the goosebumps. All right, well, I'm hooked. I want to read more. Hope you do too. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so that you can be notified every time we have a new First Chapter Friday. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.